In this video I shall show you how to identify the red, green and blue driver transistors for removal for the video DAC RGB upgrade board. So what I have done, I've just wrapped a piece of wire around one of my multimeter probes and inserted the other end into the RGB socket. This is pin 7 and that is the red output. So what we need to do is take the other probe and work out which one of these 4 transistors is the red driver. So what we'll do is we'll measure this one. So we've got nothing there, nothing on that one, nothing on that one, and 31.3 ohms on that one. Now, as that's the only one measuring a low resistance, we know that that is now the red driver transistor. So what I'll do is I'll just mark this down on a piece of paper so I don't forget that this is the red one. Right, I've just drawn 4 circles on a piece of paper. The 4 circles represent the 4 transistors and I've marked that one as the red one. Now we need to find the green, which is pin 6. So what we'll have to do is just move this one pin to the right. So now we need to work out which one is the green. So we know that one is the red. So let's have a guess and see what that one is. Nothing. Nothing. 31. So we now know that transistor is the green. So I'll mark that on the piece of paper. So green is now marked down. Now we need to find the blue, which is on pin 10. So pin 10 is, that's pin 9, that's pin 10. So we've only got 2 transistors it could possibly be. So let's try that one. Nope. So it must be that one. Yep. So that is the final transistor, that is the blue one. So we'll just mark that as blue. And now we've identified the 3 transistors which need to be removed. So next we need to find out where the 27 ohm resistors are, which are marked on the schematic, which go to the emitters of the 3 RGB transistors. So we're going to start with the emitter of the blue transistor and we're just going to measure and see if we can find the 27 ohm resistors. They won't be exactly 27 ohms because this is an old meter. So we know that one is 28 ohms, which is close enough. So the other side should be 2 ohms, that's a short circuit. So we now know the transistor feeds this resistor and the other side goes to the RGB port. So what we need to do is just mark that resistor because we want to remove it later on, so we know we need to remove that one. Now the green driver, we need to find where the resistor is for that. (91 ohms too high), 28 ohms, so the other side of that should be near 0 ohms. Yep. So now we know that resistor is on the green, so we'll mark that one to be removed. Now the last one is the red one. It could be anywhere. 92, nope. Nothing. Nothing. 92, nope. So let's try the other way. 28 ohms, so that seems good. Let's move him out of the way a little bit. So the size should be 0. 1.7, close enough. So now we know we need to remove that resistor also. So I'll mark that one to be removed. I'll do the removal off camera because it'll be a bit easier. We also need to work out which side goes to the monitor port as well. So we'll just remeasure that. So because we've got 28 ohms there, we know that goes to the monitor port. So the two left sides go to the monitor port, so I'm just going to put two little dots so we know that's the side we need to attach the wires to later on. 28 ohms there. So that one also goes to the monitor port, so I'm just going to put a little black mark there as well, as those will be the wires which will attach to the DAC board later on. Right, so what I've done now is I've lifted just one end of the resistor up and soldered the red, green and blue wires on what I marked on the circuit board with a black marker pen. Now that follows the red, green, blue layout there, so obviously red there, then blue and green. At this point it's probably a good idea just to double check that each of your red, green and blue wires are actually connecting to the monitor port, so we'll do that next. Right, so I've put my test wire back into pin 7 and I've just had to tape these wires down because I can't hold three things at once. So pin 5, 6, 7 is the red, so we should get continuity with the red. Yep. So now we need to move to green, which is pin 6, so we need to go one to the right. That should be green. Yep. And blue is pin 10, so we need to go one down, and that should be blue. Yep. So now we know each of our wires here now goes to the monitor port. The red, green, blue transistors are removed, and these resistors now that are just sticking up will be pulled out as they're no longer required. And then each three of these red, green and blue wires will solder onto the DAC board, and hopefully it'll all work. So the red, green and blue wires are now soldered on the DAC board. So the last thing to do is to solder the blanking wire, which comes from pin 36 of the glue. Now these are generally numbered, so I've just counted down to pin 36 and just put a little scratch next to it so I can meter that out in a moment. Right, so I am on pin 36 of the glue. I can't seem to get it all in frame at the same time, so I'm going to keep it on pin 36 and just randomly go around all the wires until you can find where the sync wire is. So it's that pad there. So I'll solder a wire onto that off camera and then we'll connect that up to the DAC board. Right, so the blanking wire is now soldered onto that pad and also soldered onto the DAC board there. So we shall turn on and see what we get. Blue screen, promising. So we'll do colour test. Red, green and blue, etc. So mission accomplished. Thanks for watching.